Welcome back to Hour 2, ladies and gentlemen. April 7th, 2014. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health. If this is the first time you're listening to us, welcome. It's your lucky day. You've already found the website, unless you're listening to one of the more progressive radio stations around the country that are carrying our message. If you're listening to the radio, please go to the website, fireyourmdnow.com. fireyourmdnow.com. There's tons of information there that you can use to increase your knowledge base, to increase your health, because as God is my witness, we suffer needlessly all around the world because of simple lack of education. Let's go across the pond to London and see if England really does swing like a pendulum do. Hey, Gareth, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Thank you, Dr. Glidden. Thank you very much for taking my call, sir.
How's your son?
Dr. Glidden, you are a genius. I'm on the other side. I'm on the other side now, Doctor. I can honestly say I'm 100% ill, and I'd like to tell my story to your listeners because it's breathtaking.
All right, I'm sitting down. I'm going to take a little break. The microphone is yours.
Okay, Doctor, thanks very much. About 18 months ago, my son developed what they call junior idiopathic arthritis. The medical doctors were adamant that we should take steroids and methotrexate for his arthritis that was in his hand and his knees. I was never going to go down that route under any conditions. I scoured the internet and I came across longevity, and thank God, I came across Dr. Peter Glidden and fireyourmdnow.com. I spoke to you on the 1st of April last year. You told me exactly what to do, as you said, and as you say, I'll dial it in for you. You told me what to do, where to go, what to get, and I've done exactly that. I took the longevity products in regards to the healthy bone and joint fat, and stayed off the bad foods, which are absolutely crucial. Within 2 weeks of taking the products, the ones that you recommended, we had movement back in his hands where he could make complete fists. And then things went on, and I phoned you a couple of interim times in between, just for little boosters from yourself, which you, again, the advice is just second to none that you gave me. In between, I was dealing with or literally going to the local hospital. Am I still there, Doctor?
You betcha.
I had appointments that were with the Children's Hospital in London, the big main one in London, which I did go to regular appointments with just to check on what they thought, but again, I had no input into the medication. I was never going to go down that route. And then in November of last year, I phoned you up and I explained to you that I was at 95%. You gave me some more free advice over the phone, which is invaluable, and you told me exactly what to do. That was on the 21st of November last year. And I'm now on the other side, and the thing that strikes me more than anything is that I went to the big children's hospital in London in January, and they knew that I wasn't taking their medication, and not once did they ask me what was I doing. Nothing. Not even a question. And I was telling them that I was doing nutrition, but there was no interest whatsoever. And I found that so hard to believe. And
your son had, they were aware that your son had improved, right?
Yeah, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. What do you do? They didn't even ask what I was doing without a shadow of a doubt, Doctor. It was just. They said the last comment I had from them was, well, if we hadn't known that you would come here in February of last year, we'd be sending you home straight away now, saying there's nothing wrong with you. You're imagining it in to be kind to them. But as I say, Dr. Glidden, listen, I can't thank you enough. I'm on the other side here. And my question I'd like to ask you, after all saying that and giving me everything back that I thought I'd lost, is where do I go from here? What do I do, and what do I do in regards to maintaining what I'm doing? in regards to what supplements you should be taking.
Well, all right,
I'm yours.
It's a prudent and wise question. Well, I appreciate it. So, and nothing like results, right? Nothing speaks like results. And this is an interesting thing to talk about, because here's the deal, folks. I mean, we pull back the curtain on the way that medicine is dispensed all around the world. This is not a United States phenomenon. This happens everywhere, right? So here's the deal. Gareth's son, little boy, was diagnosed with a chronic neurological disease, a big bad voodoo daddy, big time bad stuff. The MDs say you can't cure it. All we can do is throw steroids at it, throw anti-inflammatories at it that the kid's going to get addicted to. It's going to hurt his liver, going to hurt his adrenal glands. But this is your only this is it. That's all you can do. So Gareth says, no, there must be something else. He finds us, without looking at the lab work, without looking at a CT scan, without looking at the child, without doing a neurological exam, without any of this. I recommend a protocol to support and promote his body's ability to have a healthy neurological system. That's all that I did. And guess what? It works. The kid is completely normal now. 6 months later, 9 months later, a year later, the kid's completely normal. He's on the other side of it. He's like a normal little boy now, no more neurological symptoms. He's a normal little kid. And then his father takes him back to the best children's hospital in England. They see that the kid's improved 100%, and they don't give a damn. They do not want to know. They did not call me. They did not make an inquiry. They did not care about how the child recovered his health. Now, is that the kind of doctor that you want to bring your family to? Is that the kind of doctor that you want to pay money to gain access to? They've got no choice in England. It's like Canada. It's socialized medicine. They take it right out of their paycheck. They don't have a choice. This is the way that it is all around the world. It is a gigantic house of cards, which is why I named my book The MD Emperor Has No Clothes, based upon the Hans Christian Andersen fable of, the emperor's new clothes. The hucksters came to the town and they told the emperor that they had a thread that only really smart people could see, but of course they didn't have any thread. And so they convinced the emperor that, they had this thread, and the emperor pretended he could see it because he didn't want people to think he was stupid. Everybody in the country pretended that they could see the thread, and so the king is walking down in a great procession with this new robe of clothes made from this special thread that only the wise can see. Of course, he's buck naked, walking down the street. And a little child peeks out from underneath her mother's skirt and says, "Mommy, why is the king naked?" And, of course, at that point in time, it's over, right? And now the illusion is gone. Well, this is the way that medicine is. This is the way that medicine is all around the world. It is a gigantic house of cards built upon a philosophy of healing that is completely inconsistent with the reality of a human being. And, your medical doctor is not concerned with how to make you healthy. They're not. They're not concerned with what causes your illness. They're not. They're not trained to be. They're only trained how to manage your symptoms with drugs, period. And, we suffer into the bargain. You know how many other children there are in the world? Like Gareth's son, you have any idea? You know how many parents are crying themselves to sleep because they think their kid's going to die in a couple of years? Just because they lack information? How long? What's it going to take? I mean, I don't know. The death camps of World War II weren't enough. The death camps of World War II were sponsored in part by the pharmaceutical industry, and that wasn't enough to make us take a second or third look at the pharmaceutical monopolization of the medical marketplace. So I don't know what's going to. I think it's satanic. I do. I think it's satanic. Now, I don't want to go there. That opens up a whole can of worms, but I believe that the pharmaceutical industry, at its very heart, is doing the devil's work. That's what I believe. Now, my conception of the devil is very different than most people's. It's not a classical, neo-Christian understanding of the phenomenon. But there are good and evil forces at work in the world. There are. and the evil forces, however you want to call them, however you want to cloak them, however you want to come to terms with them, have your health in their greedy, dirty, blood-stained hands. And like Gareth, let's step into the light of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. Now, to answer the question, Gareth, we don't do anything different. So there's two things to do here, right? One of our strategy is basically this. We have a treatment protocol to support and promote the structure and function of somebody's body when they're in the weeds with a diagnosis of a disease. Once they've recovered their health, and that disease process is no longer present in their body-mind, then we simply fall back to the maintenance program, and the maintenance program is easy, breezy, lemon squeezy. Now, eliminate the 10 bad foods for the rest of his life. He doesn't get to even look at any of the 10 bad foods. Zero tolerance to the 10 bad foods. Number one. Number two, 1 healthy start pack and 1 selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And look to secure a minimum of 20,000 ORAC of antioxidants a day. 20,000 ORAC of antioxidants a day. That's a minimum for everybody. You can do that with supplements. You can do it with food. You can do it with cayenne pepper and curry powder and walnuts or whatever. 20,000 minimum. 50,000 is better. 50,000 ORAC of antioxidants a day is better. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. 1 healthy start pack and 1 ultimate selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And that's all you have to do, man. I mean, that's it. That's the long and the short of it. Because that simple system provides all the nutrition that his body needs. And your body, by the way, and my body, and everybody's body. And more importantly, Gareth, pick up the standard. And help us build longevity in England. Help us spread our message. Your community needs you more than you know. I appreciate you very much, Gareth. You can call me anytime. One of the biggest success stories here, right in front of your face, Longevity Nation. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, kicking it out of the park today. The phones are busy, busy, busy. By the way, if you'd like to give me a shout, 844-DR-GLIDDEN. That's 844-DR-GLIDDEN. 844-Dr. Glidden. That's toll-free, baby. 844-DR-GLIDDEN. Let's go down to Florida and see what Jan's up to. Hey, Jan, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hello, Dr. Glidden.
What's going on, Jan?
Well, I have several customers who have gastroparesis. Is that how you pronounce it?
Oh, gastroparesis? Yeah, gastroparesis.
Yeah, gastroparesis and gastritis. And I wonder what the difference is and if they're treated the same way.
Well, the difference only exists in the mind of the MD. And remember, it's the MD's job to classify things, right? They classify things and they name things. That's their job. So, we've got heartburn, you've got reflux, you've got Barrett's esophagus, you've got gastritis, you've got gastroparesis, and probably 6 other iterations that they're not springing to the front of my mind right now. But all of these things, right, go back to, of course, a dysfunction somewhere in the digestive tract, right? I mean, it's a digestive issue regardless of a horse by any other color, right? A rose by any other name still smells like a rose. It's still a rose. So remember, with longevity, what we do, not because we're dodging things, but because we're consistent with the reality of what it means to be a human. We give foundation boilerplate medical nutrition programs, the intention of which are to support your body's ability to optimize its structure and function. So regardless of the diagnosis, regardless of the name, regardless of the iteration that the MDs have encapsulated it inside of, solidified it inside of, if it's a digestive issue, we support and promote the digestive tract, and we do that with, the answer, 1 healthy digestion pack. Yep. Per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Now, this particular, anytime you see the word ESIS or itis, ESIS or ITIS, This is fancy schmancy Latin talk which connotes an inflammation, an inflammatory process someplace. So whenever there's inflammation at play inside of the diagnostic name, in order to support and promote the structure and function of the body more appropriately, you can lean on stuff that supports the fire department of the body, which is the body's, how the body deals with inflammation. And one of the best ways to do that with the digestive tract issue is, in addition to the healthy digestion pack, start salting your food so that it tastes good. That's interesting. And use the MAQI Plus, MAQUI Plus. Now, in an acute thing like this, I would do 1 bottle of MAQI Plus per 50 pounds of body weight per month until they're out of the woods, symptomatically. You can also use 1 or 2 drops of peppermint oil in a little bit of warm water, like an ounce of warm water or 2 ounces of warm water, and have them swallow that down when they're burping and belching and it's kind of become a runaway train. Peppermint oil, often given acutely like this, will produce a remarkable amelioration of symptoms, a remarkable amelioration. Now, it doesn't work every time, but you can try it, and when you hit the nail on the head with the peppermint oil, people think you're a goddess because, oh my God, the effects are so remarkable. I mean, it's just, they can't stop burping, they can't stop belching. It's like they're like a runaway train. They have to, excuse themselves from the table. They have to go into the bathroom just so they can be by themselves because they're so freaking embarrassed. A couple of drops of peppermint oil will cut it right off at the knees, often. So that's what I would do. I'd do the healthy digestion packs, the MAQI Plus, and the peppermint oil. These
people are told that they can never eat solid food. They have to eat baby food the rest of their lives. And this one girl burned her stomach with Red Bull. She drank 4 a day, and they really don't know what's wrong with her. Yeah, well, so, again, right, what's the proper metaphor? I can't think of it. But the MDs believe this because this is what they're taught, and they don't believe the body can fix itself. So when you see somebody who has chronic gastrointestinal big-time voodoo daddy stuff, big time, in your face, bad stuff, from the MD's point of view, well, they're screwed. And, it's only a matter of time until the whole thing breaks down. And so their strategy, instead of trying to figure out what's causing it and try to get on board with a rational protocol to fix it, they say, well, just eat baby food. Whatever. It's nuts. So give them the appropriate healthy pack, have them eliminate the 10 bad foods, and look for results. This is what we lean on regardless. Look for results within 2-3 weeks. Call me back with an update. I'd appreciate that. Oh, goodness gracious, man. I've never been able to do the Trinidad accent, but that's where we're going next, don't you know? All the way down to Trinidad to talk to Marcia. Marcia, welcome aboard. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden.
So, Marcia, yeah, it was bad. Here's what I want to know, Marcia. Were you dancing this year in the carnival? Were you dancing?
No, I don't do that.
That was a big deal down there for folks who are not aware of Trinidad. It's a little tiny island state, Trinidad Tobago, off the very northeastern tip of South America, a little bit lower in latitude than Aruba, which is a nice destination for a lot of U.S. vacationers. I've had the great pleasure of being in Trinidad a couple times now on behalf of Longevity, spreading our message, Dr. Wallach's message of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. And I have to tell you, Marcia, I don't know if you know this, but I've lectured all over, the world now, if you consider Trinidad, and I've lectured outside the country a number of times. And the reception and the people in Trinidad are the best audience I've ever lectured to anywhere in 5 years. The Trinidadians are very receptive to this. They're awesome. I love the Trinidadians. And you guys in Trinidad need to find somebody who can be the anchor for longevity in Trinidad, because there's a big potential in Trinidad. But Trinidad's no different than anywhere else in the world. It's no different than any state in the U.S. or any country in the European Union. In order for longevity to grow rapidly, even just efficiently, there needs to be somebody there who's into it and who's doing it at least part-time. And maybe that's you, Marcia. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned... Well, I know your husband's on, but there needs to be a leader in Trinidad who's holding weekly meetings, who's holding monthly meetings, who's really kind of cracking the whip to help keep everything moving forward. You need that, and we're looking for a person like that in Trinidad.
Okay, well, I guess we can talk.
All right, then. So thanks for the call. How can I help?
Okay, in 2010, I had my baby, January.
Yeah.
Was 6.5 months pregnant. My mom passed. And about 5 months after having the baby, I ran into having some anxiety issues. My blood pressure started going up. I eventually went into anxiety disorder, and I eventually had to go on meds. I went on Rivotril for 3 months. I came off, and then they had to put me on antidepressants, which I came off last year, June. I've been fine. It's just recently, about a month ago, I started having some anxiety, depression issues.
And so you want to know what we can do for that?
Well, yes. I went to a naturopath last week, and he gave me some 5-HTP. I didn't feel well when I used it.
Yeah.
So I stopped it. I'm not on anything right now. I'm using your Ultimate Classic.
Which, I'm sorry, you cut out on me there. Which ones are you using?
The Ultimate, the Classic.
Yeah. What else?
I'm on the Omegas, and that's about it for now. The essential fatty acids, yeah, that's what I'm using for now.
Okay. How much do you weigh?
168.
Okay. And is that a good weight for you, or is that a little overweight for you? What do you think?
That's a little bit, because I've started putting a little weight, which I can't understand why I'm putting on the weight. I know. Usually like 140, 150.
Yeah. Okay. So all of this fits together in a nice little package if you have the proper perspective, right? So from our point of view, the human body has a nutritional tank inside it, metaphorically speaking, that needs to be filled every day in order for everything to work. But most people don't take the proper nutritional supplementation, and they just think that they can get all the nutrients that their body needs to work properly from food, and that's incorrect. You can't do it. It's impossible to give the body everything that it needs just from eating from the 4 food groups. You can't do it. I don't care if you have the best organic garden in the world and you only eat stuff that you grow. You're still going to be deficient in certain nutrients because they're not present in the food chain. So this means that everybody's nutritional tank is less than full. Some people it's 60% full, some people it's 50% full, some people it's 40, and so forth. Now, when you get pregnant, guess what happens? The baby taps into your reserves. So maybe before the pregnancy you had 60% of the nutrients necessary. Now after the pregnancy you've got 10% because the baby took the rest. And then you experience the stress of life and your body breaks. So, you'll get postpartum depression, or you'll get a blood sugar issue postpartum, or you'll get eclampsia or preeclampsia or diabetes during the pregnancy. These all go back to simple. The emphasis here is on purpose. Simple nutrient deficiencies that your medical doctor, bless his heart, and most holistic practitioners in the world just don't know about. And that's why longevity is so important. So now, you need the right medical nutrition. Basically, all that you need to do, Marcia, is top your tank off, right? You need to just take the right stuff into your body every day and give your body a break, and then the blood sugars will start to come around and the anxiety will start to come around. By the way, anxiety most of the time is caused by not enough calcium and not enough magnesium. Now, when people are so deficient in those 2 minerals that they start to get anxious, then often they also have heartburn, restless legs at night in bed, some type of arthritic pain or chronic low back pain. So do you have any of those? Do you have heartburn or restless legs at night in bed?
I get heartburn. I get that pain in my stomach.
Yeah, so
and my bones in my hands.
Yeah. So these are all arms of the same octopus. And it's not HTP that you need. It's 90 essential nutrients that you need appropriate for your body weight. Now, here's an interesting thing to understand. And we're the only ones talking about this, which is why it's so important to build a longevity business so you can tell people this and turn people onto it. The only thing that makes anybody gain weight is eating too many calories. Too many calories. There was nobody in Auschwitz or the death camps of World War II or, Stalin's regime that was overweight. If you don't eat, you lose weight. If you eat too much, you gain weight. So what makes people eat too much? Well, not having enough nutrition in your body. Because your body has wisdom. Your body knows that it doesn't have enough calcium. Your body knows that it doesn't have enough vitamins. So what does your body do? Well, your body tries to fill the tank. How does your body do that? By forcing you to eat. So your body forces you to eat. So you eat a giant lunch, and 3 hours later you're starving again because the food that you ate didn't have the nutrients that you need. And so you eat and you eat and you eat and you eat. You can't stop yourself. And your doctor will tell you, it's because you're depressed, or, you're weak-willed, or you're lazy, or you've got the fat gene. And it's nonsense. These are all symptoms of chronic, undiagnosed, unrecognized nutrient deficiencies. So our simple strategy here is, you just got to fill your tank up with the right stuff, girl. And it would benefit you also, Marcia, to stop eating foods that are gumming up the works, because there are certain foods that are hurting your body, kind of like, if you had a diesel engine and you put regular gas in the tank. Well, it wouldn't run very good. Or vice versa. If you had a regular engine, you put diesel fuel in, it's not going to work good. You need to put the right fuel in the tank. And so there are 10 foods that we recommend everybody stop eating across the board. 10 foods that everybody stop eating across the board. And, shark and bake, regretfully, are on that list. Shark and bake are regretfully on that list. The shark and bake, that's like Kentucky Fried Chicken in Trinidad, ladies and gentlemen. So, look, I want you to visit my website, please, fireyourmdnow.com. You're already there if you're listening from Trinidad. And scroll down the page until you see the link for get the 10 food bad food list. Click on that link and get the list. It's free, okay? Stop eating those foods. And here's what I want you to take for 90 days. 90 days to get on the other side of your issues. So for 90 days, my recommendation to support and promote the structure and function of your body-mind is as follows. Per month, I'd like you to take one canister of Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0. One canister of Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0. Okay. I'd like you to take 2 bottles of OsteoFX Plus. That's O-S-T like Thomas, E-O-F-X Plus. The liquid, not the powder, the liquid OsteoFX Plus. 2 bottles of that a month. Mm-hmm. 1 bottle of EFA, like Edward Francis Albert, EFA at the 180 count. Now, Longevity has a number of EFA supplements. I just want you to get the EFA. That's 180 count. It's just called Ultimate EFA, 180 capsules in the bottle. 1 of those a month. Mm-hmm. 1 bottle of Sweet Ease, S-W-E-E-T like Thomas, E-Z-E, Sweet Ease. 1 bottle of Sweet Ease a month. And last but not least, 3 bottles of Selenium, S-E-L-E-N like Nancy, I-U-M, 3 Selenium. 3 Selenium, 1 Sweet Ease, 2 OsteoFX plus 1 EFA at the 180 count, and 1 bottle of Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0. Get that stuff, take it every day, eliminate the 10 bad foods, and you watch your anxiety and all this other stuff just fade away into the background. It's going to be like, I don't know, what's it going to be like? It's going to be like watching the sunrise in Trinidad. It's going to be slow and steady and boom, da-da, boom. But it's going to be like watching the sea turtles come in to lay their eggs, all right? It's going to be a slow and steady process, but you will get there. I appreciate your trust. I appreciate the call. And remember, as far as I'm concerned, for the business model, which is a gigantic business opportunity anywhere in the world, Trinidad is wide open, and we're looking for somebody who can really carry the standard in Trinidad and do this, at least part-time. If that's you, well, this might be the luckiest day of your life. I appreciate you, Marcia. I have to move on. I appreciate the call. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. It's worldwide. Well, we've heard from Trinidad today. We've heard from England today. We get calls all the time from all over the U.S., all over Canada, Cyprus calls, South Korea calls. This word is reaching people all around the world, because human suffering knows no border. It knows no creed. It knows no color. It knows no religious affiliation. I don't care where you live. If you don't have the 90 essential nutrients every day, and if you're eating every day all the wrong food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's only a matter of time until something breaks. My people are destroyed by lack of knowledge. Are you going to help to end this madness? Are you going to become a longevity distributor and help to end the madness? I certainly hope so. It's a great group of people to be affiliated with. Longevity Nation worldwide. Welcome back, everybody. Finishing up the hour here. April 7th, 2014. Looks like Bill from Pennsylvania has an interesting solution for gastroparesis. I'd like to hear this. Hey, Bill, you're live. Come in, Bill. Hello, Bill.
Yes, hello.
Hey, Bill, thanks for the phone call. Do you have something you'd like to throw into the pot here to help people with gastroparesis?
Well, I do. And first off, I want to thank you and Dr. Wallach for doing this incredible work. And we've been using the longevity products now for about 2 years, and it makes a huge difference. And your show is amazing. But the thing that really got my attention today was your one person called in who had gastroparesis.
Yeah.
And that was something that I wrestled with for about 10 years. And Johns Hopkins gave me the prognosis, and they said there's no cure, and so forth and so on. So it resulted in 10 years of eating only one meal a day, which was at night. And it makes working hard when you're fasting all day. Ooh. And by sheer accident, around the 10th year, I went to a chiropractor who happened to just evidently break free the one section of my back that wasn't quite right. And within about 2 months, 70 to 80% of the digestion returned. And I couldn't believe it. Nobody had even said a word about that for 10 years. It was sheer accident. So other people that have it and their doctors say there's no cure for it, I'm sure the longevity products will be very, very helpful. But in a few cases, maybe like mine, they need to go see a person who affects the spine.
Well, Bill, that's spoken like a true veteran of the trenches of, health recovery, and I couldn't agree more. I am a gigantic supporter of the chiropractic method and of any type of, professionally regulated body work. You're absolutely right. The nerves that come out of the spine go everywhere in the body to make the body work. It's all done autonomically, and if the energy pathways, if the nerve pathways are not correct, if they're jammed up because of some type of anatomical tweak, well, ain't all the nutrition in the world isn't going to fix it. So you need to be nutritionally sound, and you need to be structurally sound. And God bless you for pointing that out. I think you've just made a difference in the lives of many of the listeners, Bill. I appreciate you very much. Keep up the good work in Pennsylvania. That's how we do it here, ladies and gentlemen. Teamwork all the time. I've got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle, and that can only mean one thing. Our old friend Shannon from Texas is back in town. Welcome aboard, Shannon. What's going on?
Hey, Doc. I have a follow-up with some blood tests for my thyroid, and I'm kind of confused.
All right, so we got 2 minutes, so let's be snappy.
Okay, well, the history, you got me on Armor a few years ago, but I am still having, my thyroid in the past year, my T3 has gone down, my T4 has gone up, and my TSH continues to be, significantly above the numbers I want it to be. Well, I also sent in my hair to Dr. Wallach to do the mineral analysis just to see what's going on. And I show high calcium, high magnesium, but then whenever it has the ratios of calcium to potassium, calcium to magnesium, those are all super high too. So that report is coming back low thyroid, low adrenal work, depression, fatigue.
So your T4 is high and your T3 is low? I think that's what you said, yeah?
It had, my T3 was high last year, and then when they did it again, it's in normal range, so it's gone down. My T4 it's within range. T4 is within range. It's just gone up from the last one. And then
so you're good to go then. There's no problem there. And so, as far as the blood work is concerned, you're still taking the Armor, right?
Right. I do different dosages every other day, but the doctor is telling me, she said if my TSH does not come into range, then she's going to make me go back on to a Synthroid.
Well, the doctor's an idiot because the TSH bounces around. They did a report. A couple of chiropractors in Texas actually did this report. They took one person, they took their blood every hour for 24 hours, and they measured the TSH levels every hour. The TSH levels bounce around like a bouncing ball. TSH is irrelevant. As long as your free T3 and free T4 are in the normal zone, you are on the right dosage of your thyroid meds as far as I'm concerned. So you don't need to worry about that at all. Give me a shout back tomorrow, Shannon. We'll finish this conversation. I appreciate everything that you do. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. God willing and the creek don't rise. Back in the saddle tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Time.